Apparently I'm not. I'm going to switch now. And yeah. Yes, thanks Rob for that, because now I can actually share something useful for people. I'm just going to keep going then. So reading profile raw data, Blackfire raw. Yes, hands on head, definitely. Yeah. All right. Well, that is just the way it's going to be, I guess. So, profiling all the things, debugging. Let's see if we can find anything in Blackfire's repo. Metrics, docs. These are the two things that I'm going to need to be contributing to. Blackfire PHP SDK. Django demo. Snippets. PHP probe. Okay, so this is maybe what we want. Bridge build profile. The main thing is I want to figure out how the how to read the file, and it's possible none of that is in userland. It would be kind of frustrating, but I get it. Blackfire error. No proxy build bridge. Port. Okay, so I don't think we're going to get any help here. I wonder if Tideways is the same profile. XHProf, that's what it is. Didn't remember, so let's do Tideways service, Tideways extension. Okay, so format. Data format. I'm guessing it's going to be slightly different than that. Version detection not working. This is actually going to the P. That's old. Sample. I'm guessing the uplids. I'm guessing both Blackfire and Tideways have worked at least a little bit. A format, but maybe there's some possibilities here. This makes me feel like this might be a map for, or this is the map for possible metrics. 1, 2. Let's see how many numbers there are here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to see, so this is the baseline. Go back to the baseline profile and see if I can track down what any of this stuff means. Just by sort of guessing. I'm going to see if I can find the least number of calls and see if I can track down stuff from there. So let's do XSLX : save. I keep getting this backwards. XLS. Save. Okay, so I think this is where it was. Because the others look like they're calls from it. So calling from save to write worksheet. Calling from save to write worksheet. So let's see if we can call into here. So it looks like there's 2 callees. Write worksheet. Awesome. So we're kind of getting that. And load class. So we've got write worksheet. This must be another instance that maybe didn't have enough, may not have had enough information to trigger. Because Blackfire does do some work to trim anything that falls below a threshold so that it doesn't spend a lot of time. So it doesn't actually show you every single thing that shows up, mostly because doing so would probably make things a little awkward. We'd end up with way too many nodes to take a look at. But we did see a call from save to write worksheet. We can find that one again. Oh. Save. God, write worksheet is this call right here. So that would be an edge. So if we zoom in here on save, that is where writer export. Here's save. So we can see there are actually 5 calls to write worksheet. So each one of these then is going to be a separate edge on that node. So we have 3 here, and then here's the call to load class, which we see there. So there should be 3 of those. Here's I don't really know what the threshold thing is. Might end up being harder than I wanted it to be, but it'll still be fun to work on. Especially if we can get it somewhere eventually. I feel like the thing that we might need to do is build a proper parser for this file format, and maybe rather than doing that, it might be better to as Blackfire, if they have this parser, they can make available, or at least document the format. I feel like they aren't going to document the format though, because they will. Let's look at the XHProf docs a little bit more. Profile using, setting it up, notes on using it, additional features, dependencies, it's flat profile. Terminology. Patients, suspension. Number of calls from bar to foo. I'm in bar. Change in PP. Okay, so I wonder if the format for this changed a bit. If we can correlate this with any of this individual calls. The thing that's a little weird is I don't know what these threshold things are for. Let's see if I can find. So start happened here. So 2, 5, 3, 4. I'm guessing these are going to be linear and just based in time sequence. But maybe not. Okay, threshold. Running it, 31 start. End. Oh man, maybe these aren't actually. Because this does not look like the first thing. Let's see where end is for this first one. Yeah, because there shouldn't have been another end after that. Start of that one. Package already reading. Yay. GUI to analyze. Mongo PHP adapter. Yeah, so that I'm afraid that there's not going to be an easy way to read this file, because I think that XHProf typically just would write to Mongo. Oh, this is interesting. Start Slack time or starts demo. Okay. Bus call stack turn off. Great, but where do we actually see that? Great. So I need to find out where save is being set. There. I know I know it's there. I was just looking at it. Sometimes GitHub is very frustrating. If we get lucky and find something that's already parsing the data into something useful, that would be awesome. Alright. I know this was there. Save exists. Alright, I'm gonna pull this down. Case. Second here, I want to try and make another change real quick. There we go. Browser. All right. Okay. If we can find data has it, call graph has it. Oh, let's see. S profile. Ah, it's in a different format. Oh, for sure that's what that means. Alright, so I think what I'm going to do is just kind of play around a bit here. See if we can get all of the calls from this. Rob just asked, what music are you playing? Been looking around for music I could use in some videos. I'm listening to Monstercat. Monstercat has, you can purchase, I think it's Monstercat Gold, and then authorize yourself against a couple of different streams. I think you can get 5 or 6 different channels that you're authorized to play music on. So typically I was doing the new music channel, but tonight I wanted to see if I could try the chill out genre. They have all sorts of stuff in here. It's pretty good. Seem to be very heavy on the poppy electric music stuff, which I like a lot. Where did the chill go? There we go, chill out. So yeah, this is what I've been trying to use, and I've been pretty happy with it so far. The other one that I was thinking about doing is Artlist.io. I think that's what it was. Nope. Hard list. List. Oh, yeah. What's the right URL, I guess? This is another one that I've seen advertised. It's a little different in terms of pricing. It's a little more upfront. I think, yeah, it's billed yearly, so you have to pay $300 upfront in order to get access to it. But you can download everything, and then it's yours to play anytime, which is kind of nice, versus Monstercat, which is very much going in the direction of you have to pay an ongoing fee in order to keep doing it. But the gold plan is not too bad. It's only $5 a month to use on Twitch and YouTube live streams. I actually have it hooked up on my YouTube account as well, but I'm not doing much to actually promote doing the live streams on YouTube or even watching the replays just yet. I did put, since I'm using Restream, I also did my first stream against Facebook, but I've turned that off because unfortunately the Monstercat license doesn't actually include Facebook. So Facebook did its thing where it muted the entire the entire everything. So yeah, Rob says don't do Facebook. Yeah, I've turned it off for now. Monstercat ever supports it, maybe I'll turn it on, but I don't know. All right, so I feel kind of stuck on this, so I don't know if I'm going to bother banging my head against the wall anymore. I guess I could. Pretty much the only thing I think I have left to do is look through the Blackfire SDK, PHP SDK, to see if it's going to do anything. But I suspect, well, it actually acts like a probe, so maybe it will. I feel like it might only hand the information off directly. End of public API. Box, verify, enable, open output. Hello, Prolog. Interesting. So we've got the line. Disable, open output. Blackfire my message. This is all working about boundary, like setting up MIME boundary. This is actually dealing with posting the information. Get main prologue. All right, so we have probed OS file format. Okay, so file format is set. Probed OS. Probed feature. So it's not actually sending these. Yeah, so Blackfire probe, okay. Cool. So we're actually okay. So we're actually now seeing what writes this. But we might actually be onto something. So main prologue pushed. What calls write main prologue? Okay. So we're in open output. Calls that. Signature. Okay. All right. Do verify. Okay, so this. Let's write chunk file. Press M2. Okay. Profiler enable is enabled. So it's calling profiler enable bug key. The profiler to enable. Ah. Nice. Okay, so we have the format here. Okay. Now we're getting somewhere. So it's disabling the profile if it's for a sample. Is this doing anything with threshold? No, it's not. So if CPU flags are these different, A this looks the same to me. So we've got CT, WT, CPU, MU. These are different. Yeah, this doesn't have CPU, MU, and has a 0 instead. This has zeros for MU and okay, and then so this must be all right. So if this is right, then we see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is where I'm a little confused because what I looked at before, but there's more numbers than that. Maybe that's just for the threshold value. Those end values anything other than zeros? Entirely possible. And if that's the case, then okay, so we got CT. Number of calls. No. At call time. One of these other packages had. Let's see. Ah, here we go. Oh, and it doesn't have CT. Figures. Alright, but, so... All time, user time, memory usage, peak memory usage, CPU, okay. So we have that for later. We can figure out what Blackfire called these things. Alright, so CPU, queue time. MU is so I'm guessing this is wall time. Makes this seems like they should be CPU time. Unless this is IO wait. Maybe. Okay, so what I'm going to do is write a little tiny script that starts to pull this stuff apart and see if we can just get it to work here. So we'll do oh, I didn't need to name it .php, of course. Okay, cool. So right, and then if this gives us our line. Sex. Should be there. On output. Ah. Why is that? First one. Oh, return. Of course. Alright. May actually be working because the first line does not contain what we're looking for. Okay, so we've got threshold. I wonder if I can just ditch the thresholds entirely, but let's do anything that's calling write worksheet, because we're looking at there should be to that. Alright, so I think I see what's going on here, and this is why it's maybe a little confusing. I think the threshold values are anything that, any call that is over the threshold. Supernova's back and says, "Oh no, Excel." Yeah, so this is definitely always fun. But what I'm seeing here is counter to what it seems like we were seeing elsewhere. Because we only see 3 calls, or we only see 4. We see 3 thresholds and then 1 of this format. And then this format 1 actually has a 5 in front, which is the number of calls to write worksheet in the here. Supernova is asking if this is related to my tweet about Laravel and PHP Office debugging. It's not. It's the same project, and that is something that's also very annoying. This is just a convenient thing. This was a convenient target. What I did was I took the profile from the baseline, so this isn't even looking at the slower code, and I sorted it by the thing that had the least number of calls. Yes, turtles all the way down, definitely. And the first one that came up that was sort of interesting to me was, now it seems like it's sorting differently. Of course it is. Actually, it's because I'm zoomed in, I think. So I was zoomed in on this node right here specifically, and because it's only called once, it's very explicit, it's easy to understand. I can see that there were 5 calls to write worksheet, and write worksheet didn't have any additional calls, so this was like a nice edge for us to take a look at. And then we can also see there's 3 calls to the autoloader that come from here. So what I'd expected was 5 individual calls into this XLSX worksheet. But what I'm actually seeing is this file only contains 4 lines, but I'm guessing these threshold lines now are the values that are high enough to be included in the profile. However, the actual edge, so in terms of like graphs and how the call graph is displayed, the nodes are specific functions and the edges are the calls between functions. So here we have XLSX save calling worksheet write worksheet. So each line is going to represent an edge. So what I think is going on is these 3 calls, these 3 specific calls, each hit the threshold to be included. So in other words, they actually show up, or this is the reason this function call shows up at all in the graph. And this line right here is showing the aggregate values. So even though there aren't 3 actual calls here that I can look at, my next step is to test this theory to see if, I'm guessing the 5 calls represents the 5 calls to the other node, so that's the edge. So if I can convert these values into meaningful values on the graph, then I know that we're looking at the right information. And I just right off the bat, I can kind of see that's the case. 132 milliseconds. Suspicious branch names. Wait, where are the branch? Oh, yeah, that is a very suspicious branch name. Yeah, yes, indeed. So 132, so this looks quite clearly to be 132 milliseconds. 4.23 milliseconds. I don't see that here, but that might be a couple of these values combined. 128 milliseconds would be CPU time. That's probably what this is. And there was no network traffic. There was no these again? Network and peak memory. So those aren't showing up with any values, which makes sense for this. But where I'm a little confused is where that I/O time came from. So unless it doesn't bother actually storing it, it may just store wall time and CPU time, and then I/O wait is just the difference of those. So let's see if that makes sense here. I mean, sure it does. So 132 minus 127 equals 5. So that's close to the... not really. Let's actually do the math. If it's closer. Okay, yeah, so 4.23, yeah, so 4.23. So just by looking at this line, we're able to accurately see what's going on here. So we can see this is, pull this into our Scratch file. So we've got this was wall time, and this was CPU time. The thing I'm not sure about is what this number represents. Or no. Wonder if that's exclusive time, maybe. This value doesn't seem to correlate to anything, unless maybe we combine all the values.
Keep everything that spills out of the dark locked up behind your lips. It's blooming out of nothing but a thought, like secrets that slowly slip. Shadow in the spotlight, no stars inside.
Oh, I wonder if this is... I wonder if this was related to memory. Because if it didn't actually consume more memory, I wonder if this was how much it had been consumed at that point. Let's see. Even this doesn't consume any memory either. So I'm going to leave this one alone for now, because I'm going to see if I can just continue digging this information out of here. If we look at the threshold values, Okay, let's leave this alone for a second. So I think what we need is to figure out a way to find out where something like this is being called. I think that's kind of what we're looking for here. We look at, let's see, our function that get relationship from the method. And on it. Because what I'd like to do is see if we can figure out how much detail we can get about where each of these calls came. And the way that Blackfire typically shows stuff, I'm not sure how useful it's going to be. Hoping we can rebuild the output to be a little more. Mission data attributes. Yikes. So, translate from what form? Export sheet. It's a closure. Okay, so let's see if we can actually get what we're looking for here then. Let's do get relationships from method. So instead of this call, actually I'm going to copy this in case we need to go back to it again. So what we're looking for is anytime this is called, and see if we can get the details for every time that's called. Oh, cool. So we see exactly one call. At least on the baseline. And it's called 4 times. So let's see if that matches what the profile said. So we've got... So we get one caller. No, this is on the Twitch one, or the unfixed one. So this does kind of confirm what we were looking at earlier as well, that there is no threshold value. There's only a raw called value, which is why we don't even see it here. So it doesn't even show up on the baseline profile because it consumes so few resources it doesn't even trigger it. What we're going to look at now is run the same script on fields. There we go. Okay, now we actually get something. But do we get any threshold details? No. Oh, maybe. I'm still not getting what the threshold thing is all about. But we can see things that pop out. So 228 calls, we did see that here. So we had one caller called get relationship from method 228 times. I want to figure out where we did have 3 instances of this though. Called class relationship from method. Alright, so the relationship value called interesting. So here we're seeing, I think we might be seeing some class data. So this is actually the method that was called get relation value, but the class name was actually web form field instance. So this is I think this is showing exactly what I wanted to see. And then it called eloquent model get relationship method from web form field instance. So this is how we are going to know which relationship we're looking for, or the class of the thing that we're looking for. So I'm wondering if this is an aggregate then. So 4 plus. So let's see if these numbers match again. It looks like we have some different numbers here, which might be interesting. So we have 228 calls, 493 milliseconds of 0 calls, 193 milliseconds for wall time. (402 milliseconds is CPU time, which means we can derive what IO wait is. If that's correct. So IO wait is 90.2. Yep, that's close. So that's good. So that's 6.2 number. Here we're seeing more numbers than we really know what to do with. I want to see how those relate. So there was 303 kilobytes. No, sorry. 303 kilobytes of data. Sure, that's in here somewhere. Same thing for memory. Wait, it said 623 kilobytes. Allocated memory. Change in allocated memory. 887184. I'm seeing that number exactly up here. Not sure what that means. There, if that could just be a coincidence, but that is. Is that in time? No, 193. No. Those are all giving me the wrong thing. Huh. Because this is actually memory consumption. $278. Alright, so I don't see that anywhere. And 24396. Those are more values that I don't get. It's possible that it comes from here. Still don't know what these are then. That might be okay. All right, so what I want to do now is see if I can build a call graph. Figure out if there are multiple calls to if there's multiple calls that we can track to this get relationship from method from different classes. So if we look at our line format, comment these out. Oops. Parse these values. Anything up to this, anything to this, is there a space? Nope. I'm going to try to do the named patterns. I've not done that before. Sometimes it's fun to do new things. Question mark. Go inside the match? It does, okay. Caller. Ali. back to our scratch file. So we all time CPU. Just get that for now. And no enter. Suitable item. This was not what I. Oh. That was the problem. Okay, cool. So caller. Closer required. Threshold end. Alright, so I'm going to do threshold. All of this. This one doesn't seem to have captured it. What's wrong with this match? Nope. And it's regular expressions. Well, now it's capturing it. What's different now? Now it's not going to capture anything but threshold. Capture nothing. Oh, it works. Just having that at the front was what was the issue, apparently. Huh. I didn't actually know there. Maybe I did, but I feel like I didn't really have a grasp on the fact that regular expressions would order of precedence within a capture. Never run into a case where that mattered. Alright, so threshold. Always asking for trouble when I put more details in there. Those in there most. If I don't want the... Oh, maybe it was already there. May have been looking at one. No. Okay. Yeah, this is... Alright, so now I'm capturing threshold correctly. Caller, callee. Ow. Class base name calls base name 6.8 million times. Oh. Interesting, because the threshold ones are different, so the numbers up there. Oh, man. Alright. We're going to make this a little different here. We're going to do all this. Because what we had before So values, for the threshold values, these numbers are different than like the format or the number are different than the non-threshold ones. The non-threshold lines have the number of calls at the front. So here we have 2. So we can do something here to say if matches threshold. I don't know what that will be able to print. And then otherwise we'll do list of calls. Wow. Like wall time and CPU are always this. I would have expected. It's not all. Oh, here's some that are different. All time CPU and IO waits. Okay. Number of calls looks to be what we'd expect as well. So 7. Okay, so what I think I want to do... Oh, it's already 9:15. Wow. What I think I'd like to do real quick is see if I can do a little bit of translation and basically remap the real class name with over top of the base class names. So what I want to do is remap caller to be web form submission field. Oh, I don't think I can do that. Get relationship. Get relationship from method. So all right, so this is the caller, and only web form field format. I want to see if I can find a call E that is this value. Let's see if I can. I'm going to skip everything except callies. Okay, so we do have a callie, and that came from the form field get relation value. So let's do I'm going to build this up by hand. Because ultimately I want to find out if I can build a structure based on this style format, or if I need to rename them. Basically rename the callies. So caller is going to be get relation value. Not in a row. Alright, so now we have get relation value being called by get attribute. So here belongs to. Okay, so this is where it's probably going to get a little tricky, because this now we've lost context. It's kind of a bummer. Oh, but there's a few of these here. Nice. Okay, so let's see. So we have the edge call. We have the call from get value and get attribute. The get attribute is called from as one or many get, but we don't have the this is probably where it's being called to. So we do still have the context that it's being called from web form field, but the number of calls to get are probably going to be massive. We can see that right here, that there are 2,662 calls to get attribute from get. But really we're only interested in potentially, what is it, 248 of them. Yeah, may not work. So let's keep looking. So we have a closure. Very specific closure, which is interesting. That's still within Laravel, I believe. That's looking at relations like that. This is where it would be nice to be able to do argument capturing. Because if I knew which arguments were being captured on getAttribute, it would make this a lot easier to track down. Then belongs to coming from an actual query. I hate to say it, but I feel like this might be a dead end now. So getAttribute. I guess getAttribute is probably the most likely place that this will have been called. So let's try that just in case and see how many places this gets called. We already did getAttribute. So match one or many. Oh, no. This is a pretty good candidate for it. That's actually somebody asking. So if we're looking for where people are asking for it to happen, but if we find actual queries, also I'm going about this from the wrong way. Because ultimately what we're looking for is where the query is executed that generated the object to begin with. So do the same. Oh, so it's not even in there. Maybe it is. Let's look and see. Since it didn't. Wait. Why is it there? Okay, this is cool. So there is a difference here. So alright, so of course the times are going to be different, but the actual number of things being called is also different. Never remember this syntax. If.
So where are we going?
I had a whole thing set up at one point for doing this. Supposed to be if y. Your files line by. All right. I think I might have to think on this a little bit more. Unfortunately, I don't have a good plan at this point because I sort of assumed we'd be able to follow things up the call stack a little bit better. So I think I need to take a break, think on this a little bit more, and see if we can come up with something else. So if you hung around all night, thank you very much. Appreciate you coming by. Supernova, Rob, if you're both still there, awesome. If not, still awesome. Hopefully I will see you again next Tuesday, if I don't see you before then. All right, thank you very much. Have a good night.